What's going on, guys? All right, the last video we talked about the structures that gave us power. All right, and we must understand, well, we talked about the dynamics of the structures. All right, how they were shaped. They were dome-shaped structures, and some of those structures were pyramid-shaped structures. They had pyramid shapes on top of them. They had dome shapes on top of them. They had a certain look to them. And what I'm going to do a little later is I'm going to see if I can get some pictures. All right, and get some pictures of some of the older structures that we had, and I'm going to make a collage of them. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to video them, and then I'm going to put them on a private screen that only I can see, and you guys will probably see that I uploaded a video, but it's private. And then from that point, I can go and do the video with you guys of how the structures or whatever. Okay, and that'll work. Because just to see and not imagine makes a much bigger difference. Okay, the structures that we had allowed us to go into the deepest parts of our souls. And like we said, in the previous message, excuse me there, the sounds that were resonating, or the frequencies, not the sounds, but the frequencies and the vibrations that were resonating from these structures that we had built, put so much energy into the atmosphere, which is why, like we said, these white folk, or inorganic, however you want to call them, recorded that the planet was extremely hot. All right, and it wasn't extremely hot because of the sun. All right, it wasn't extremely hot because of the sun. It was extremely hot because of the system that we had on the planet. Remember, we are organic. We are machines of altitude in nature. We're the organic beings of this world. We are organic machines, and we knew that we needed a system. All right. So after this system was destroyed, but before it was destroyed, it was these inorganic beings literally began to study and see how it operated. They were very curious, and when they realized that this was the system that allowed us to fly and to do all those powerful things that we could do here on our planet, they became very afraid, because they then knew that this was the system that would be their death, especially after the fall was over, especially after the fall. But they knew that this system right here would be their death. And, they destroyed a majority of the system, but they studied it. They studied it and they understood. So what they did, though, was they began to mimic us. They began to mimic us. And you look at these Arabics, which is nothing but white folk, that's all, speaking this bastard language, that's all. But you look at the Arabics, and the mosque, literally copies the structures that we had. with the dome tops, and they felt like this would give them some sort of power or some sort of energy, and how we, how they copy how we built. Also, the Catholic Church. All right, the Catholic Church took the liberty of creating domes on top of their churches to resemble the domes that we had. Our brother Zeus, his his temple, that's, like we said, still stands in Ethiopia. I remember seeing pictures of it long ago. I don't know if the pictures are still available. But the thing about it is, I saw it in the encyclopedia in my mom's place. But I mean, the chair that was there, because it was Zeus's temple. The chair that was there was huge. But you can see where the dome was, and you can see how there were like veins going up and down the wall where this plasma energy went into. And this was all a part of our system that we created. We have everything that we created had domes. But then at the top of the domes were like a little were openings where that resonating frequency could come out of that opening and go into the atmosphere. We had tall structures that we built, and many of these structures were built from metal. Many of these structures, I'm sorry for repeating myself, many of these structures were built from metal, and many was built from brick. There were some that were built from wood, because we understood the properties of all of the resources on the planet. So this is, important for us to understand, because we must know that our enemies are mimicking us in so many ways. Just like we said, the Muslims, they have that mosque, and we have the domes on the top, and they got it from us. All those churches with those high, with like the real high rods at the top of the church, they got that from us. And those rods represent the metals that we mix together, and we put them on the top of our structures, and it sent a resonating frequency throughout the atmosphere, because those metals, you could literally touch those metals, and it's like you'd be vibrating on a whole different cosmic level just by touching the metal alone. So we had those metal rods on top of the church, and those metal rods provided a type of energy, a type of frequency, a type of vibration that allowed us to go into the what you call the higher heights. So if you look at the structures today that these so-called white people, these white folk had, that they mimicked from us, you'll understand that they built those things in that way because they felt like this would give them power, because they knew that the structures that we had gave us power. All right? They just don't do anything for nothing. They're always mimicking. They're always looking for power. But the key point is, the power is not something that this type of power is not something that belongs to them. They had to destroy something so great that we created in order for them to survive. Because before the fall, we were just about at the point of completely wiping them out on the planet. All right? We were at that point. And, that's like we said, they discovered the places that we had. Many of us would call it a shrine, call it temples. These were these powerful structures and we had them everywhere. And, that was our way. So, yeah. Their projectile weapons that they have now, that they still have, they fired upon our structures and destroyed them all. And that's when we fell, because that resonating frequency was no longer in the atmosphere. Therefore, we had to end up fighting using sticks and stones and guns and bullets, when all before we were using these powerful frequencies and vibrations that were in our bodies. So if that can give you some idea, of what we have and how it works, it give you a better look into the structure, the dynamics of those structures. And that's what we're going to get into, the dynamics of those structures, and we're going to get some pictures, and so you guys can really get some pictures, and we're going to study these pictures, and we're going to have a better understanding. Some of those structures at the top of them were square, but they had that opening where the resonating frequency and the vibrations from the resources that we had on it would stand out. We would mix gold and silver, gold and copper. We mix platinum and rhodium. We mix all kind of metals, because we understood that the metals, when they were mixed, they gave off extremely high levels of frequencies and vibrations. And these inorganic beings, they came and they checked out some of the metallic structures that we had, and they were like, this has got this here, this has got silver and gold and zinc. And they have the audacity to say that we didn't have that type of technology to create that. They say, how did they do this? They didn't have the technology that we have today. They didn't have the machinery. Where the fuck you think they got the whole idea of the machinery? We created the machinery because we use the machinery to build and to create. How you think they got these bulldozers and tractors and all this? They got it from us. It just didn't appear and they said, oh, we're going to use this. No, we had already had it. So, just to give you an idea, they mimicked what we had, all right, in order to try to obtain a certain level of power that they're never going to get. And the only way they feel powerful, they building these structures. Look at the Arabs, they building these mosques everywhere with these dome tops on it, and the only thing that backs their so-called power is money. That's the only thing that backs it. Outside of that, there's no power with them. Now we build some powerful structures of such like, and we put them all throughout our neighborhood. Oh yes, these beings will have a fit because they know what these powerful structures do for us. They know about the resonating frequency, but guess what? This is not their planet. I'm telling you guys, so-called white folk right now, the ones, especially the ones who call themselves leadership. 90% of the FBI are Africans. Do you know that? 90% of the FBI are Africans, and those Africans are working hard against their own kind for a few dollars and a position. So yeah, they're watching. So yeah, this is not your planet. This is not your planet, and you can't tell us what we can and can't build, and you can't force us to take something down that we build up. All right? You've already been warned many times, but this time, this is literally being put in a state of assurance. We're coming back. And we're coming back with a vengeance. And don't expect any mercy. Okay? It's point blank. Coming back with a vengeance. Don't expect any mercy. All right? I pass this on to you, brothers and sisters. I just want to talk about those structures that we had.